I'll just briefly mention why we're here. I mean, we essentially want to do a proof of concept about what can we actually have an informal meeting, a formal set of meeting with colleagues, experienced, less experienced, some people, players in Brussels, some people players on the ground about territorial development, local development, community-led territorial innovation. Is this concept relevant at all? We believe they are. But I mean, it's the opportunity of having a bit of an exchange with people who know more than we are, and where we can see together whether there is, essentially we can think beyond the box. Sorry, just trying to make sure that this is correct. What we're trying to see is whether community-led innovation is the right concept, whether our understanding of community-led innovation is correct. It's about place-based, in our view, it's about enhancing democracy. We think that local innovation, as said earlier today, is not just technology, so people shouldn't get scared if they're not technical. It's about essentially, in a very simple term, doing things differently. It's about changing processes, changing the governance, fostering social capital, these soft issues that can have significant disproportionate effect in the results at the end. And of course, these results, doing things differently. The purpose of today is essentially to do a proof of concept about this. I mean, can we do a networking at the European level in an informal way, in a voluntary way, in an online way, thinking about the present, but also thinking of the future? Whether we can fully maximize the instruments to support territorial development, but not only that, but also look at all these other instruments and policies and best practices that exist in each country, in each local area, or many local areas, that really are not even captured by the many studies that I'm sure many of you, like ourselves, regularly participate on. So we want to do this informally, voluntarily, and online, and also trying to find new solutions, practical, but also policy-wise for the EU policy agenda and the domestic agenda as appropriate. And want to see whether we can do that with you. This is our provisional definition. It comes from, of course, a number of studies, but essentially for us, community-led innovation is taking stock of local assets. It's about place-based approach, and it's about empowerment, democracy. We talk about the places that don't matter, and all these many studies that they are expressing the word about people disengaging. They are disengaging because they're getting less services, they feel disempowered, they feel their views don't matter, but actually they have something to give. And we want to see whether we can actually help on that. As we say, this is all our provisional assumptions, and we'd like to hear from you on that. Just to give you a very brief picture, you see this map with many points. I think this diversity of colors already showed you that there are a number of official instruments, integrated territorial investments, that many of you know, the CLLD or LEADER, and there are also a lot of non-EU funded local innovation tools that exist. If you look at that map that summarizes many of them, you see like the colors are actually rather evenly spread. That means that some instruments are used in some countries, so are not using another. It's just because they are different institutional things, or it's because there are many soft reasons why some instruments work better in one areas and feel more relevant in others than others. I mean, we really don't know that. And as I say, there is even a study on that presented last Friday by the Commission and the JRC, and that provides some evidence, but still not conclusive answer. I mean, why some instruments are used or not. But as I insist, let's not just focus on ITI, CLLD, and the EU fund. There will be also, and we saw it today already, many instruments that are non-EU funded, could be potentially EU funded. They are not at the moment, and many of us, we don't know that. The only people in the given country perhaps know them, but not in a European scale, so we cannot learn from that. One of the ideas of ELIF is actually provide a platform to actually do that, for instance, through this territorial development group that we are setting up. Just to conclude, I mean, I'm sure many of you will agree with recent evaluations of the funds that says that EU rules tend to be very detailed. Innovation is not the priority. There's not enough ownership of community or local groups, and sometimes regional and national governments tend to put even more rules than the European ones on top, which makes it difficult to actually implement. But as I say, there's a wealth of good practice across Europe, and there's a scope to reproduce that and to copy, learn, imitate, share with each other on that, and that we believe that this informal space that we are trying to create is a good way because it's voluntary, it's free, and is open to anybody who can join and wants something to give something. So the questions for today, and I will be keen to hear from yourselves in this short minutes we got. What are the key challenges in your view of territorial development? Which are your experience in your country? Or more specifically, what do you think are the drivers and the barriers for doing local, community-led innovative practices with EU funds or without EU funds? It's the same. We're trying to get a view. And more importantly, as a proof of concept, do you think that an informal online pan-European networks such as ELIF and this thematic community could actually help to share transfer knowledge on these issues?